If you've been in the mechanical keyboard hobby for any substantial amount of time, you've probably heard of what many consider an in-game linear switch called the Zaku. Based on the Mobile Suit Gundam mech Zaku 2, it's garnered a bit of a cult following in the community. But is it really worth all the hype? I guess you'll find out today. Today I'm reviewing the Zaku linear switch by Bolsa Supply in the light of the notification via Bolsa Supply's Discord this week, alerting everyone that the Zaku will be back in stock. And not only will it be restocked, but the final restock for the foreseeable future. So what that means is that this might be your very last chance to get your hands on a brand new pack of Zakus. But before we get into the specs and the typing tests and the comparisons, I want to talk to you guys about my personal obsession with the Zaku Switch. In a vast world of colorful, sweet candy and treat-inspired mechanical switches, it was something about the monochromatic subtle gray appearance that caught my eye. Of course, the hype around Zaku selling out almost instantly every time it drops, no matter how large of the quantity, it kind of gave me an immense amount of FOMO, or fear of missing out. Ultimately, I just held out until the next restock and finally got my quote-unquote in-game switch. At least I thought so at the time. I mean, I literally bought more than 100 of them. Let me know in the comments if any of you had a similar experience with the Zakus or another switch. Alright, let's test and talk some specs. The Zaku Linear is a smooth long pull switch with a 63.5 double spring, no factory lube, and an overall clacky kind of sound signature. It's manufactured by Nixies, and the outer body is made of the polycarbonate top, nylon bottom, and a palm stem. A combination that has actually become pretty popular since the Switch released initially in 2021. The 63.5 double stage spring causes it to have a sort of heavier press feel opposed to something like the standard cherry red switch. Most of you are familiar with what a long pull switch is, but in case you aren't, the Zaku has a travel distance of about 3.5 millimeters, which is a fair amount shorter, causing it to have a more abrupt bottom out. The longer pull bottoming out is often what creates the clacky sound when typing on them. But back to the design of the Zaku. If I'm honest, I believe the majority of people's obsession with the Zaku stems from the appearance of the Switch. At least it was in my case. Like, the Switch could literally sound like crap and I'll probably still like it. Thankfully it doesn't. Whew. It's close, bro. In terms of the sound, the Zaku is a well-rounded switch with an overall marbly type of sound in my opinion, and based on my board's configurations, which may vary depending on what board you put them in. The main thing that stood out for me in the sound department for the Zaku is that it feels like two little stones clacking together when it bottoms out. And I feel like they really shine in a board with a little bit of foam if I'm honest. Now let's hear how they sound and I'll let you guys kind of be the judge. Now I'm going to compare them to a couple of other switches, some budget, some middle ground, and some, I guess you could say, in-game. All these switches are lubed. So the Zaku Switch is a one-of-a-kind switch with an impressive reputation throughout the community, although being rather polarizing at times. Some people go as far as to say that they're extremely overhyped, and I can understand why they could think that. It's easy to put something that you don't own yet onto a pedestal and be a little bit let down once you try it. I mean, it's in our nature. But if you remember to take a moment and consider that this is just a Switch and not the end-all be-all, you can learn to enjoy the Zaku for everything that it actually is. An attractive poppy yet contained switch with a medium to high volume depending on how hard you type. Amongst the other switches, you may notice some similarities and a few noticeable differences. On the feel side, all of them except for the Cherry MX Black Nixie are pretty exceptionally smooth. There's a lot that the Misu linear has in common with the Zaku and the Neons, considering their long pull feel and their sound. The Misu being a little bit quieter and kind of like fuller, and the Neon being the clack beast that it is, actually is the loudest switch I've ever owned. The Zaku definitely holds its own against many linear switches. Remember, if you're seeing this video the week of August 10th, 2023, you have a chance, a last chance, to get a couple packs of the Zaku Switch this weekend at Bolsa Supply. This is not sponsored or anything, I'm just, giving respect where due and trying to keep you guys updated with whatever is coming out when it's coming out. For more info on that exact drop, I recommend you follow the Bolsa Supply Discord. I'll put a link down in the description. And that's my Zaku review, man. Let this be a send-off to the Zaku era, I guess you could call it, man. Anybody who's been in the scene for longer than I have can probably attest to the fact that the Zaku has been away for quite some time. In regards to my review, I really wanted to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please make sure you subscribe for more content and leave a comment which Switch that I compared to the Zaku that you would like to see a full review on. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.